The best chase down blocks of the 2025-26 NBA season. Some of the most exciting plays in basketball don't come from three-pointers or crazy dunks. Sometimes, the best moment happens when a player thinks he's got an easy bucket and suddenly, out of nowhere, boom, a chase down block. Today, we're looking back at some of the most spectacular chase down blocks of the 2025-26 NBA season. From unbelievable recovery speed to perfectly timed defensive plays, these blocks prove that the play isn't over until the ball goes through the rim. So sit back, turn up the volume, and let's take a look at some of the best chase down blocks of the 2025-26 NBA season. A great chase down block requires more than just athleticism. You need speed, you need timing, and most importantly, you need to stay locked in on the play. When a defender gets beaten in transition, the offensive player usually thinks the possession is over, but elite defenders never give up. They sprint back, track the ball, wait for the perfect moment, and attack the shot from behind. And when everything comes together, the result is one of the most exciting plays in basketball. SWAT! The crowd explodes, the bench goes crazy, and the momentum can completely change in an instant. One of the biggest differences between an ordinary block and a great chase down block is timing. If the defender jumps too early, the offensive player can adjust. Jump too late, and the ball is already at the rim. But the best defenders wait. They watch the ball, they calculate the angle, and at the exact moment the shooter goes up, they strike. These plays happen in just a fraction of a second. That's why some chase down blocks look almost impossible when you see them in slow motion. A chase down block isn't just a defensive statistic. Sometimes it completely changes the momentum of a game. Imagine a player getting a steal and running down the court for what looks like an easy 2 points. The crowd is already reacting. The bench is preparing to celebrate. Then suddenly, a defender comes flying from behind and sends the ball flying away from the basket. The energy instantly changes. One team loses an easy basket, while the other team gets a huge emotional boost. And sometimes, that one defensive play can start a massive run. This season has featured plenty of incredible athletic plays. We've seen players cover enormous amounts of ground in transition, rise above the rim, and make blocks that seem impossible from the original camera angle. The most impressive part is that some of these defenders aren't even in the picture when the fast break begins. They're several steps behind. But instead of giving up, they turn on the speed. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and suddenly they're right behind the offensive player. That's when you know something special is about to happen. Then there are the blocks that simply make the entire arena say, "No way!" The offensive player believes he's about to finish an uncontested layup, but the defender times it perfectly and sends the ball flying. Some blocks hit the backboard, some end up in the stands, and some are so powerful that the ball ends up several feet away from the basket. Those are the plays that fans remember, not just because they stop a basket, but because they make a statement. Here's something casual fans may not realize. A chase down block is incredibly difficult. The defender is running at full speed. The offensive player is also moving toward the basket. The defender has to judge the exact moment the shooter will release the ball, and they have to avoid committing a foul. One small mistake can turn a spectacular defensive play into an and-one opportunity. That's why the best chase down blockers combine athletic ability with incredible defensive instincts. It's not just about jumping high, it's about knowing exactly when to jump. And let's be honest, the crowd reaction is half the fun. When a player gets an open lane in transition, the arena gets ready for a dunk or an easy layup. But when a defender comes from behind and blocks the shot, the entire building changes. Fans jump out of their seats, teammates celebrate, the bench goes crazy. And the replay becomes even better. Slow motion reveals just how close the offensive player was to scoring, and just how perfectly the defender timed the block. In today's NBA, offense gets most of the attention. Three-pointers, dunks, step-back jumpers, huge scoring performances. But plays like these remind us that defense can be just as entertaining. A chase-down block can be louder than a three-pointer. It can create more momentum than a fast-break dunk, and it can completely change the energy of a game. That's why these plays deserve to be celebrated. As we look back at the 2025-26 season, the best chase down blocks all have one thing in common.
They happened when the offensive player thought the play was already over. The defender refused to give up. They chased the play down, they trusted their instincts, and they made the impossible look easy. From explosive athleticism to perfect timing, these are the plays that remind us why NBA basketball is so unpredictable. So, which Chasedown block was your favorite? Was it the one with the most incredible recovery, the biggest swat, or the block that completely changed the momentum of the game? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed these incredible NBA defensive plays, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.